Hey guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details, and a lot of you have asked me recently, what kind of coating paint thickness gauge do I use? I'm actually getting my own vehicle ready for a new ceramic coating. We're going to be putting on Ethos's graphene coating. It's a 1-layer, 5-year coating. You don't have to be certified or authorized only installer to gain access to it. It's kind of a retail product. But I've polished my vehicle a lot of times. I've actually lost count. I think at least 4 times I've done it. Light enhancements, nothing super aggressive. There may have been 1 or 2 times that I've had to do like compounding because of heavy water spots that etched into a previous coating that I was testing out. But I'm getting to that point where I've got to be mindful of how aggressive I am with my polishing. Now, because I'm putting coatings on, I'm kind of adding, micrometers maybe to the clear coat, so I don't have to be super paranoid. When you add the ceramic coating, you are adding kind of like a sacrificial layer on top of your clear coat. But if you want to remove a ceramic coating and reapply a new, you have to polish, and it's kind of, you can't tell whether you've removed the coating or once you get into that kind of like clear coat area, because they bond to one another. So every time I polish now, I break out my coating thickness gauge and do a quick test. I know where paint should be, from factory. Doesn't mean that every vehicle is going to be the same. Every panel is going to be different. But let me show you the coating thickness gauge I use and kind of how it works for me. All right, guys. So let me pull you up to my fancy work desk. This is about as fancy as it gets. But the coating thickness gauge that I use, this is from VVV Group. I picked this up off of Amazon for around $60, $65. It's actually on sale now for $57. And a reason why a tool like this is beneficial for you if you're a detailer, if you're going to be doing any sort of paint correction, this is kind of what I would consider a cover your butt policy right here. If the customer's bringing the car to you, maybe they bought it used and they don't know the history of the vehicle. Maybe they don't know the previous home or a car owner had it polished prior to selling it to you. Maybe the person who polished it used a rotary. Maybe they even wet sanded some areas to try to remove deeper scratches. Maybe it was resprayed. Being able to have a tool like this is really going to give you kind of like the script on the history of the vehicle, because you can tell when a vehicle has been resprayed. The paint's going to be astronomically thicker in those areas versus the rest of the vehicle. You can also tell if a vehicle's been rotoried or wet sanded or polished really heavily and aggressively, because you're going to have a lot less paint on certain spots than other areas. So just to kind of give you a basic review, you have a calibration tool here. You also have a way to switch between microns and millimeters. You also have, you can go between a constant number where it's just going to kind of change number by number, or a single number. Here you have the substrate. It will tell you what you're using. So if I were to switch between ferrous metal, it would tell me non-ferrous. So this is the aluminum. If I were to come over here, it would tell me that's ferrous metal. So you can just see it's going to tell you kind of the substrate that you are working on. So you also have within the set some kind of pieces of plastic that you can put over your metal strips to kind of be able to get a gauge for where you're at. So we'll go to microns, since it's measured in microns. 52.2, 49.8, 53.4. So you can see, even if I move it around, it's going to kind of vary in number ever so slightly. I would say it's not super exact. I don't ever take it to the single digit. For me, it's just kind of giving me a roundabout idea of what's going on with the paint. So if I were to even bring you in here with my husband's work, or a new truck that we just bought. So we are in microns. We're in 121 microns. Standard factory paint is going to be anywhere from 90 to 120 microns. So if I were to come in here, 131. That is super thin right there. Way to go, Chevy. 110. 108. 101. So this just kind of gives you a roundabout area of to know how to approach your vehicle, and it could change from one spot to the next. It's up to you if you want to kind of get readings all over, but this just kind of helps give me some variables. So again, like I said, if you were to be looking for numbers, when it comes to millimeters, you want your readings to be anywhere from 4 to 5 mils. That's how standard paint is going to be. If you're measuring in microns, which is the UM, you're going to be anywhere from 90 to 120 microns. And what this does is it adds up all those numbers together. So think of it as a mathematical equation. So if you have 40 microns of primer, 40 microns-ish of color, and then 40 microns-ish of clear coat, you know if you're getting down to like the 90s with your micron readings, you are getting super, super close to burning through your clear. That's just kind of a roundabout way. It could vary different. You know, some manufacturers may go heavy on clear. Some may go thicker on their base. You never know, but I would say, you know, for general number, 90 to 100 microns, if you find that you're getting to like the 80s, 90s micron reading, then I would say that you would need to have that conversation with the customer of, we might not need to or might not be able to do the route of a polish. We might just need to, you know, do a wash, a clay bar, and then put a quality wax on there. Because what's better for the customer? A perfectly smooth, scratch-free paint that eventually leads to clear coat failure, and then them eventually have to pay for a repaint, or you having that, you know, upfront conversation with the customer saying, hey, you know, there's too much of a risk that down the road you're going to have to pay thousands of dollars for a new respray for clear coat. I think it's best if we just protect it with UV protection, put a quality wax on there. That'll give you nice shine. And just, you might need to educate them on proper washing and drying practices moving forward. So there's only so much that you can do, but having something like this not only gives you the information you need to better approach vehicles, but it also gives you the power and the education or the tools to educate your customers on proper maintenance for their vehicles. Maybe you're an enthusiast and you bought a used vehicle and you want to know how to go about. This is a great, you know, cheap tool to be able to know, all right, if I spend $57 on a tool, that's going to save me from being super aggressive with my paint and saving me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a clear coat. I'd say that is a good investment. So just food for thought. When it comes to polishing your vehicle, you have to constantly be challenging yourself. Am I going for my ego? Am I going for paint perfection? Is this the best thing for the customer? Is this the best thing for me, for my car? Or do I need to, you know, maybe not chase 100% perfection, maybe 95% perfection? Because if you go after that one scratch too aggressively, who knows, you might be compromising the clear. It's a very hard line to know because we can't see clear until it's too late. Then you know when you've burned through it. So I hope this helps some of you guys. For those of you who are new to polishing, new to detailing, tools like this definitely will benefit you in the long haul. And you don't have to break the bank. I know there are some $500, $600, over $1,000 out there. And they will tell you, you know, clear coat, your color, your primer, the differences between those. And if you're going to be aggressively polishing vehicles, or if you're going to be going for, you know, you work in a body shop and you're going to be doing wet sanding and things like that, having a tool like that might be very beneficial versus something like this. But for the average Joe, this is definitely a good tool to have within your arsenal. So I will put the link for the product down below in the video description box. Be mindful, it's on sale now. It might go up a little bit. But for those of you who act now, I think you might be able to get a good price for this, $57. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But I've got a ceramic coated vehicle. Let's get into it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.